Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you guys that are new, hi, welcome. And for my oldies, thank you so much for tuning back in. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about NCLEX. I know there's a lot of people that's probably about to take their NCLEX or took it already, or about to take it, or have a person that knows gonna take it, and you guys are probably watching and lurking for videos together. Well, you came to the right place. Disclaimer, this is not one of those videos that will tell you how to study, where I'm gonna go through my books and kind of let you know what I did to pass. It's not one of those videos. This exactly is one of those wonderful motivational videos that kind of gets you right, that kind of gets you on point for your test, that definitely lets you know we are in this together, and I'm going to hold your hand through it all. Even if I'm not physically there, I'm there with you, sister girl. I'm here. Now, I only have, I think, 5 or 6 tips that I want to share because my NCLEX experience was one of the worst. I was one of those people in class that was telling everyone I would never go take a test and take a full test. Like, that's retarded. Like, who goes to take a test and take the full test when you have the option of taking like only some of it? Like, I was just speaking a lot of foolishness. For those of you guys that don't know, the NCLEX is an adaptive test that question you between 75 questions, which is the minimum amount of questions you will be able to receive, up to 256 or something like that. I don't know, it's been a minute, girl. And based on how well you're doing is when the computer would shut off on you, and that will let you know you have completed the test. I don't know much people that failed at 75, but I do know a few. A lot of people rave about going to the test and aiming to pass the test with 75 questions. Please don't do that to yourself. That brings me with my first tip. Don't set the bar based on somebody else's experience. You are going to take a test based on what you know and what you gonna like do in the future or so forth. So 75 questions should not be a goal for you. You could be like, I would love to do that, but don't make it a goal, because when you go take that test and you at 74 and you about to be 75, the anxiety will start choking you, thinking, and it's like, what if you get 76, 77? Like, you about to start sweating bullets. Take it from me, I was there. Now, I never really told myself I would shut off at 75. I kind of said 120, 150, just to be realistic with myself. But no, just to put it out there, I was not one of those people that passed my test at 75. I was one of those people that passed it at 250 something, meaning I took the whole test. I tested for 5 hours and 30 minutes. I did take a 20-minute break because I had to, and I was just, my bowels was giving up on me. My breakfast from the day before, it had to come back out. I had chills. I was just going through it because I think it stopped me at 200, and it asked me, do I want to break? And I felt like, yes, I do, because I read somewhere or watched somewhere that when you take your test, your last 50 or 60 questions are the one that make or break you. And actually, your very last question, if you end up taking the full test, if you get it wrong, no matter if you got every other question right, you fail. If you get it right, then you pass. So that builds some unneeded anxiety, which what I'm trying to say is, don't expect somebody else's experience for your test. I went to the test, and I believe, if I had to estimate, 85% of my test was select, audit, apply. And it wasn't the easy, like, I used this, the review material from Mark Klimek, and one thing that he said was, you don't need to know anything but what everybody else knows. As long as you know what everybody else knows, you will be fine. And that 200 and something plus question, I started to ask myself, do I know what everybody else knows? Did I make the cut of learning those basic materials? Because I was just freaking out. But just because you are taking the whole test, do not feel discouraged, because as long as there's another question, there's another chance for you to pass, okay? If you keep going to the end, that means you have a chance. It's when it's shut off that means you don't know what's going on. But the more questions they're giving you, the more likely you are doing well. Anywho, my second tip right here, listen, this one is like, it's a big one. Don't tell people when you're about to test. No one needs to know your test date. Nobody needs to know your test month. You don't need no extra support. You don't need no prayers. You do, but generally tell them to pray for you every day anyway. You just need you and whatever Lord you serve to know that date. Those are the only two people that are allowed to know the date. Let me make it very clear. When you tell one person, that means that's an additional worry. What if that's gonna go through your mind? That one person could multiply to 6 in a matter of seconds. The more people they tell, the more people that's gonna approach you. I hear it's a very hard test. Like, I hope you do well. A, B, C, D. Like, the more they try to support you, the more you're gonna realize that this is a lot of stress. So please keep the date to yourself. Leave it in your phone. Don't need to write it down because people be going through your stuff, okay? So just put it on your phone, start studying, and conquer it when it comes. Do not share your test date, okay? Tip number 3, this right here is going to be something that you should probably already have going on for yourself. If you're currently still in school, you need to be organized. Listen, when you're about to take this test, you need to have studied. Even if you were thriving in nursing school, during your study time for the NCLEX, you need to make sure that you was actually reviewing the material to the best of your ability, and that you're not learning anything new to trick your mind. You have a set schedule routine to study. You have like your review days, you have your study days, and you know what you're doing. Please don't spend all day every day for a period of 3-4 weeks, which is typically the time of people take to study. Like, don't spend 12 hours a day studying, and that's too much stress. You already know the material. Right now you're testing how well you know the material. How can you best comprehend it if they were to ask you a question on this or that. You're not learning the material, so you don't need to be bench studying for 12 hours. Set a study schedule, stick through it, and just go from there. You will be all right. There is no such thing as understudying. Okay, I stopped. Let me rephrase myself. There is no such thing as not knowing enough. If you know you did your stuff, you know enough. Remember, you only need to know what everybody else knows. So, next tip is do not ever reschedule your test date. Because if you do it once, you will do it again. The same reason you did it the first time will be the same reason you do it the next 5 times. Understand how you work. You need to study for this test. You need to review certain materials for this test. So don't pick let's say you are cleared for testing on Monday the 12th. Don't pick Friday what is it going to be? The 16th to test. Give yourself about a month minimum before you test. Okay, a lot of people tell you pick the nearest available date. If you can take it tomorrow, take it, because the more time you spend waiting, the more materials that goes out through your ears. That is very true. But if you're a person that get test anxiety, if you are a person that's not sure, you just need a review before you go, 3 to 4 weeks max is how you should spread it out. Once you get clearance for testing, 3 to 4 weeks is when you should set your test date. And do not reschedule for nothing unless you are 100% sure that you are about to give birth or go to a funeral. That's the only 2 logical reasons I would expect somebody to reschedule the test. If not, don't be like, I don't know enough and I definitely need to reschedule. You know just enough. You're gonna go, you're gonna kill it. Now, I think the next tip, I'm saying this over and over. Every tip is important, but this next tip right here is kind of very, I guess, useful, but take it or leave it. You should definitely use a review course. At first, when I was studying for it, I did not want to use a review course. I had URL, that's like the question banks for the test that let you practice a variety of different questions and help you prepare to test like you were about to take the board, right? Now, I happen to land the Mark Klimic and the Hearst Review. I use both. I wouldn't recommend using both because it's honestly not needed. The more resources you have, the more conflicted it could become, because they might share different type of logic to how you should answer the question. So I would say stick to one. One program that actually involved all of these things is the Kaplan review. It had review videos as well as a test bank that has unlimited question. I mean, there's no way you could finish those questions at any given time throughout your study period. There's no way. So Kaplan is a good one. My next best choice that I would recommend would have to be, of course, get UR. UR is on top of Kaplan, and Kaplan, I don't know why I can't say it nowadays. UR is number one, but to have a review course and a Q bank at the same time, that's what I would recommend. But a review course itself that I would definitely say go purchase it, I'm not sure how much it costs because mine was passed down to me, would have to be the Mark Klimek. He actually was one of the people that wrote the test at some point of time, so he definitely knows what is on the test and how they're expecting you to answer it, and he give you analysis on how to really like wean out wrong answers and like how to really set your mind ready to take the boards, because the boards is kind of different than the regular test you took throughout nursing school, believe it or not. Some people beg to differ, but I feel like it's very different. I believe that's all of the tip I have. I don't know what to say. This is everything I have to offer you guys. Thank you so much for tuning back in, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It doesn't hurt to share either. Like, be part of the family with me. I'll see you guys next time.
Man, I try to do right, but I'm doing so wrong, and I think about life.